Up into the sixth dimension, if I can just state, up into the sixth dimension, often the people in those locations have their own concepts of God that are nothing to do with God's concept of God. Above the sixth dimension, you are forced into accepting God's concept of God by your progression. So in other words, you cannot become at one with God without having an accurate concept of God. That makes sense, does it not? So it's very, very important that much of what you learn is about God. Because if you learn about God, you will actually now have a much greater concept and therefore become at one with God sooner rather than later. If you hold on to your own concepts of God, which is what most people do below the sixth dimension, then it can be many thousands of years before you make the transition into the seventh dimension. Because your concept of God will be challenged through this progression. Yeah? So what I've found in my own life is that a lot of people that I've met have a concept of God that God is all of us, like we are all God. And those people that hold on to that belief about God very much get stagnant in this sixth dimension. So they can progress up into that point, but they stagnate at that point. Because above that point you start realising that God is actually an entity that has personality and characteristics and attributes. And it's very important to understand some of those characteristics and attributes if you're ever going to become at one with God. But what do you reckon some of the attributes will be? The most important ones all surround love. And that's the thing to remember.